Yo, sorry. This. Anyway, here's what's gonna happen. Alright. So I wanted to give my honest thoughts on the James Borrego fire, even though people already do it. We've already given an end of season report card for this team. Alright. There's no need to do so. I'm still gonna regrade the front office and everything. I'm still gonna do a front office regrade because I'm waiting on the off-season moves first. But like I said, I'm not doing a off-season grade for the Pelicans, Raptors, and then until the playoff ends. So the way it's looking, the Raptors might lose tonight, so the Raptors might get off-season grade later on. By the way, today's title is "The Honest Truth About the James Borrego Fire." So let me look at the positives. Borrego is what you call a tactician that understands things, but he's very stubborn. He's good. If we look at his record, first season 39 and 43, second season in a 65 game sample, 23, and you know the rest. And then the third 72 game sample, 33 and 39. Four season sample, 30, 43 and 39. The correlation between that is that franchise players, Borrego don't know the value of what he had. That's another reason why he got fired. You had a young core you could have used. One thing I've learned from the spaces I've been hosting is that the problem is if Borrego had played the young guys, he would have experimented on more rosters to see what fits in the playoffs. He would have had more to work with. So he played himself. Like like DJ Khaled would say, congratulations, you played yourself. Because he played himself. In a playing tournament, in a do or die game, my problem with Borrego is you prepare players for the regular season. Fine. You develop your games, you make them look good. But what about the playoffs? What about in a do or die situation where it really counts? How do you get these players to be mentally prepared for such? Teams that want to make the playoffs aren't going to stick to the same strategy you were using last time. You can't just double team off one player and you say, yay, we did a great job. No, it's not happening like that. I And I'm not here to yell. The reason why I had to bring up Borrego's records is because if we add another record, 10 and 20, fired from Orlando, if the worst team in the league had to fire you, is that a good sign that you were a coach? The Charlotte Hornets aren't even that trash. The worst team in the NBA is the Orlando Magic. And if they had to fire you, I don't think you're ready to be a head coach. You're not a good head coach. Period. You're not a good head coach. This situation, this season, I wouldn't completely blame Borrego. I have to blame the front office for not creating a proper roster. You gave LaMelo a center that actually fits his game, but that guy could barely get off without getting ejected. Now you give him an injury-prone small forward, who, by the way, can't stay healthy to save his life. And see, listen, this team, I'm gonna say it again. I'm not gonna judge LaMelo fully until he's a vet. The moment he becomes a vet, I'm gonna start treating. That's how I treat Alonzo. I didn't wait until season one, season two, season three, season four. I waited till season five. That's why I'm starting to give LaMelo more critiques because I want to see what his game is fully reached before I actually go at him. Because he's still developing. I'm gonna wait fully till I've seen the full package. That's when I'll start criticizing him. That's when I'll start giving him harsh realities. When I analyze the Ball Brothers game, I try to look at the difference and the strengths and weaknesses in that kind of categories. That's how I see it. That's how I started this basketball concept. This idea that in the sports world we have to think for ourselves. It's not even the case. The world don't think or act like you. That's one thing Borrego has learned. I think Borrego does not fit an NBA situation because if you can't understand that the NBA is a star-driven league, you can't coach. Period. You can't coach an NBA game because it's about the stars. Your schemes should revolve around the stars. The reason why you're brought there to coach is to enhance the star player's abilities. That's it. Borrego remind me of Golari. Oh, a smart tactician that's too stubborn to realize he fucked up. While the Charlotte Hornets remind me of Henry Danger's series where they dealt with the stab, with Charlotte being stabbed. Because they want to do everything for everybody without understanding the true value of an actual competition. That's this is not high school. This is not college. This is not middle school. This is the National Basketball Association. The toughest league to play in by the average person. You have to understand it takes a lot of mental fortitude to play in that league. You wanna know why the way I'm seeing Ben Simmons, he might be out of the league sooner rather than later? It's because some players just have ego and some have ego to the point that you think like they're that smart. Borrego losing the locker room is nothing of a surprise. Is anyone shocked that he's getting smoked, flamed, cussed out, kicked, trashed? I've never seen a coach be given 50-second chances, fail, and everyone want to clap for him like he did something. Now, am I happy that Borrego got fired? Yes and no. But there's more yes than no. The only no I have for it is who's the replacement gonna be? Because no is that he knew how to make game plan. The problem is he doesn't know how to adjust his game plan to fit certain matchups. That's why he got blown out in the play-in in back-to-back seasons because his game plan does not translate to the playoffs. And not playing the young guys also didn't help him either because you did not have enough to experiment on. For example, Willie Green. Willie Green was playing Herb Jones and whoever his name is. I don't know. Is the Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. For the love of God, Herb Jones and Trey Murphy were getting minutes over 80 bitty Devontae Graham, who can barely make a layup. And you see the results. In the playoffs, you were seeing these guys contribute to the successful team. They tied up the series yesterday. That's what happens when a coach plays young guys and experiments on that. Oh, the young guys need minutes? Oh, hey, why don't you get minutes? Let's see what you can do. Let me see what you got. Isn't that what a good coach would do? I'm not trying to act like I'm a coach because it's just like I'm just looking at it from a common sense perspective. You should be able to adjust your game plan to a specific matchup, right? Okay, in the game against Atlanta, you could have used JT Thor, James Booknight. Kudboka could have even give you 5 minutes and start shooting jump shots. He's a catch and shoot shooter. Scotty Lewis can replace Cody Martin and, give you some solid 5 points, one steal, some deflections. Just saying. The young guys you drafted in back-to-back seasons barely plays. The only one that has ever got a starting center job, Vernon Carey Jr. And where is he now? Washington. Why is this bum ass given a job if he cannot trust the young guys to contribute to the team's success? LaMelo would not have got minutes if Graham didn't get injured and Rozier never got injured. LaMelo would not have get a single burn for starter because everybody would like, yeah, he's a role player. He's not a starter match material. You would not have seen what he got in the first place. You would not even know he's the franchise player if he didn't get the minutes. You would not even know because Borrego would only play young guys if he doesn't have the choice. They force his hand. That's why Book Night want to punch his ass. How you like who hired this man as a coach? I'm not trying to say he's bum completely. He has done some smart things, but I rather disagree with Sam Dracula so bad with that. Oh, you're getting a good coach. You're not getting no good coach. Because this is what Sam Dracula and the rest of them are ignoring. The 39 and 43 season to the 43 and 39 season. You want to know the difference? There was a true franchise player from Kemba to LaMelo Ball. That's the difference. Nothing has changed. Borrego is in Jack. That's the correlation. You had a franchise changing talent. That's it. When you had Kemba, you had a good amount of wins. You lost Kemba, you went downhill. You got LaMelo Ball, you start to go back up again. People start to care about Charlotte again. LaMelo's second season, you even became a much better team. So this brings me to the next point. What coaches should be hired as a replacement? Well, let's evaluate our candidates, shall we? So candidate number one, Mark Jackson. Now, Mark Jackson is the most controversial pick. He is the most controversial pick, but in terms of motivation and pushing these guys and getting their confidences up, I will select Mark Jackson. But the type of coach I want three things from him. Number one, LaMelo must be the point guard. He must be the focal point of the offense, as in the initiator. Number two, I need the coach to be able to guide these boys to play defense, including the franchise player, because he has the abilities. You gotta guide him to play freaking defense. You should be able to play some defense. And number three, I want a coach that plays the young guys. That when they get drafted, you give them some minutes to develop their game. I don't want to be seeing a player go down to the G League, which is not important. You don't draft an NBA player to go to the G League. He's not a second round pick. A first round pick should not be going to the G League. I do not understand. I do not care. If you draft a player in the first round, a lottery pick, they should not be going to the G League. That's mistake number one. Sending Booknight to the G League, Kai Jones. What are you doing? What was that? You don't send players down and expect them to just do that. So that's why I had to bring that as a disclaimer. Now, candidate number two, Earl Watson. Now, Earl Watson is my pick, and I picked him because of Devin Booker's development. And I think Earl Watson can develop LaMelo and James Booknight and develop them into stars. But so can Mark Jackson, bro. Mark Jackson can turn LaMelo and Booknight to the next Steph Curry and Klay Thompson if he instilled the right confidence in them. But Mark Jackson is the most controversial pick. Next candidate, Because Earl Watson is more of a developmental. You need that kind of guy to really like improve their game and instill belief in players and give them minutes. And you need a coach to play the young guys. Give me Earl Watson. Candidate number two, Kenny Atkinson. Bonjour. Now, Kenny Atkinson is another one that can be like Earl Watson, where he develops the young guys, he plays them, and he trusts his point guard to initiate the offense, which is the type of coach I want, right? I want a coach that can trust the young guys and have his franchise player leading the team. So Kenny Atkinson, well, a key example of Kenny Atkinson's successful development is D'Angelo Russell right now. So he knows how to develop point guards, so you can take a chance on him. Next person, Jay Wright. Now Jay Wright, I'm still not sold on him though, but I'm gonna give him a chance. Jay Wright runs a modern structured offense, which I actually like. I actually like a coach that runs a modern structured offense and knows today's game. Thank you. Jay Wright, another situation with Earl Watson where you have a coach that actually can grow with young players and all that, and he knows the situation. But I'm a wait and see on that. Next candidate. The next candidate, just move on because I don't want him. Coach K is you too old. Move on. Next. Now for the Charlotte favorite, Sam Cassell. This is the coach I want. This is the coach I want. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Even though I say that Earl Watson is my pick, if Earl Watson is not hired, I want Sam Cassell. Now everyone will be like, why? Why? Here's why. I think he deserves a chance. Let's see what he got. He's been an assistant coach for years. He's a former player, a former point guard, and he was also key to the Rockets championship, I think. Oh wait, my bad. That was Kenny the Jet Smith. But he was a champion. He has won championships as a player, and he knows how to initiate the offense, and he can teach LaMelo the proper ways of what a point guard should do, and he can help him limit his turnovers, things that he's not really good at. So you need that kind of coach. You also need a coach like I think he can initiate the young guys and teach them the proper things and stuff. So maybe the Michael Jordan relationship with Sam Cassell can actually help. So maybe Sam Cassell, like let's give him a chance. Let me see what Sam Cassell can do. All right. Now to the next pick. Now this one is funny. Frank Vogel. Now Vogel, one good thing about him is defense, but for the love of God, if you want to hire Vogel, get an offensive assistant that that will teach these boys how to run a fast break because these guys want to run and gun. They're young. Frank Vogel will help the defensive end, but the offense. Which brings me to the next contestant, Mike D'Antoni. Me don't want him. I don't want him. I don't care. I do not want a D'Antoni. And people will be like, why? Here's why. Number one, Harden wants D'Antoni to coach him. Number two, just like Frank Vogel, he needs a defensive assistant coach because he's not a defensive sounded coach. And the problem with the Hornets is defense. We need a coach that can teach these boys defense. We don't need offense. Offense is straight. LaMelo got that. We need defense. We need a coach that can teach these boys defense, the counterattack situation. That's the coach we need. So sorry, no D'Antoni. All in all, out of all the picks I laid out, who would I really consider? Because even Quinn Snyder is on the board, but you already know how he's dealing with the Jazz. But I don't want to talk about Quinn Snyder. Who is my picks that I really would want? So one is Earl Watson, two is Kenny Atkinson, and three, give me Sam Cassell. I need a coach that understands how to trust the young guys, how to develop point guards and players, how to develop young players. You know, someone that reminds us of what Willie Green is doing in New Orleans. Because if Willie Green wasn't hired, I would have recommended Willie Green to come coach Charlotte. Because you have young guys that you can develop, put them in the right position to succeed. That's all I want for this coach. I want a coach that when they draft players, because and speaking of the offseason, if I'm Charlotte, just keep the picks. Trade Hayward with something else. Because if you trade the picks right now and the guy you're getting is not that useful, that's a bust. Now you can keep the picks, and because I only chose for them to trade the picks if Borrego was still coaching, because Borrego does not play young guys. He doesn't trust them, and that's the problem. Because in the play-in, in the playoffs, when it really matters the most, it's a wash. This team ain't it, so it's time. I am happy that Borrego fired, but it's time to actually get a real coach that actually understands what he's doing, and that's what it is. At one point, we just gotta say it, Charlotte. It's winning time. Are you gonna grab yours?